Good morning. The date is February 15th, 2023. The time now is 10:21 a.m., marking the start of the deposition of Jason Kruta in the matter of Lamb versus Kruta, filed in the Superior Court of the State of California in and for the County of San Francisco. Case number CGC-22-599-136. We are located via Zoom web conferencing. My name is Dan Gavern. On behalf of American Legal Video Solutions, I'm not financially interested in this action, nor am I a relative or employee of any of the attorneys or any of the parties. I've been retained by counsel for the defense, John Roach. Could all counsel?
The plaintiff. Counsel
Plaintiff.
for the plaintiff.
Excuse me, thank you.
Yeah.
Could all attorneys please introduce yourselves and your affiliations? And the court reporter will swear in the witness and administer the oath. We can begin.
Thank you. Good morning. John Roach for the plaintiff, Kit Lamb.
Brian Kearney for Jason Kruta.
Okay, Mr. Kruta, raise your right hand, please. You do solemnly state the evidence you will give in these proceedings will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Can anyone else hear him?
No, we can't hear him.
No, Mr. Kruta, it looked.
Me now.
Your computer's on mute. Yes, we can hear you.
There you go.
I do swear that, yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Kruta. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Jason Kruta, Jason Kruta.
Thank you, Jason. Have you ever had your deposition taken before?
No.
Okay. I'm sure your attorney has had an opportunity to share with you some of the ground rules, but I'm going to go over a couple just so we're on the same page. You can take a break at any time. I only ask that if there's a question pending, you answer that question before you take a break. Does that sound fair?
Understood.
Okay. You appreciate that the oath you just gave has the same force and effect as if we're in a court of law, even though we're all in our own respective rooms, correct?
Yes.
Is there any reason why you can't give your best deposition testimony today? For example, are you under the influence of any medications that could affect your ability to testify truthfully and accurately?
No.
Okay. All right. Are you currently employed?
Yes.
And where do you work? Where's your place of employment?
I would not like to answer that question.
It's just general background. We can go back and get a court order demanding or, making you respond, or, we could make this go quicker and you can just tell me where you work.
Given the harassment that I have faced related to this case, and I faced on my previous employment related to this case, I would not like to answer that question.
If it's okay with you, if you want to just skip that one for now, I'll talk to him at a break and we can reapproach it later if you want.
Okay, I'm going to mark the transcript here and reserve the right to come back and have another deposition with a court order. This is one of the questions that I'm going to ask the judge to make you respond to. So you're not going to tell me where you work?
As I stated.
Is there a legal basis for your failure to respond to that basic background question?
I'll just object that it calls for a legal opinion. Again, I'll offer to discuss this with him off the record. We can do that now, or we can wait for a break. It's up to you.
It's kind of a rough start to the deposition.
I agree. I'm
going to let everyone know I'm going to have to go to the court and get an order.
You've made your point.
Okay.
Or we can either move on or we can take a break now. It's up to you.
Why don't we take a break now?
Okay.
We are going off the video record. The time is 10:26 a.m.
So Jason, make sure.
Sorry. We are back on the video record. The time is 10:28 a.m.
Okay, back on the record. Mr. Kruta, you appreciate you're still under oath?
Yes.
Okay. Will you tell me where you are currently employed?
Counsel, after speaking with my client, you can contact him through our office.
Contact who?
You can contact Mr. Kruta through our office. He
Okay, is there
doesn't
an
feel
objection
comfortable-
to why he won't say where he's employed? I mean, this is
Yeah.
general background. The judge is obviously gonna let me require him to answer that question. So should we just stop now and I'll go get a court order, or is he gonna answer these basic questions?
Yeah, he doesn't want to answer that question. You can either move on or stop. It's up to you.
Okay, well, I will continue, but I will represent that I'm going to seek a court order and we're all going to come back and do this again. So is there a legal basis why you won't tell me where you're currently employed?
As I said,
I'll just object that it calls for a legal opinion. You can answer.
I do not want this information to become public, given what happened previously surrounding this case.
What happened previously surrounding this case?
I have endured a lot of harassment from people who are politically opposed to me. And that has included harassment directed at my place of employment,
Your current place of employment?
previous place of employment.
Okay. Would that be the JVS?
That's correct.
Okay. I'm gonna share screen here. Let's see. Okay, can everyone see my screen?
Yes,
I'm sorry. Where? Oh, yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Is it true that you were previously employed at JVS?
yes,
And is it true that as a result of your conduct that we're here to discuss regarding the San Francisco School Board recall petitions, that you were dismissed from your employment?
Vague and ambiguous. You can answer.
yes. More accurately, I would say as a result of the harassment directed at my employment via various communication channels, I was let go.
Okay. And what's your understanding of the nature of that harassment?
That is direct communications to the CEO, the board of directors, many abusive tweets at basically anything that JVS put out there, LinkedIn, I think as well, basically any communication channel they could find to, spam and harass JVS and people who work there.
Do you think that it reflected poorly on your employer that you were caught on video with evidence that you had stole signed recall petitions?
Also speculation. You can answer.
Yeah, I wouldn't speculate.
What was the reason that JVS gave you for dismissing you?
I was not given a reason.
Okay. And you're fearful now that if you tell me who your employer is, that your employer will receive messages wanting to dismiss you?
Not simply wanting to dismiss me. I've received many messages that are homophobic, anti-Semitic, that are death threats. So have members of my family. So anything I can do to preserve any measure of privacy, I would like to do.
Understood. Okay, I'd like to attach to the deposition as Exhibit 13, JVS's public statement. Okay, and we'll move on. Have you ever been convicted of a felony?
No,
Have you ever been convicted of any crimes?
No.
Do you agree that voter suppression is wrong?
Yes.
Do you believe that every vote should be counted?
Yes.
Do you believe that petition suppression is wrong?
Vague and ambiguous, you can answer.
Can you define what you mean as petition suppression?
Yeah, so when people cast their votes at a ballot box, that's considered a vote. When people sign a petition to recall someone, that's what I'm generally referring to as a petition. So do you believe that suppressing the gathering of petitions is wrong?
Vague and ambiguous, you can answer if you understand.
I do understand. And yes, the right to petition its own government is enshrined in the Constitution.
So you believe that it's wrong to suppress that process of gathering petitions, correct?
Again, it depends on what you mean by suppress.
Well, for example, steal petitions that
Yes.
should be counted.
Yes.
Do you agree that strong arm tactics have no place in San Francisco politics?
Vague and
Again,
ambiguous.
that's a very vague term that you're using.
Hey, Jason, you just have to give me 1 second to get my
Sure.
objection. I'm trying to squeeze them in.
Sorry.
Objection, vague and ambiguous, you can answer.
Do you agree that physical violence has no place in San Francisco politics?
Yes.
Do you agree that theft has no place in San Francisco politics?
Yes.
Do you agree that there should be zero tolerance for voter suppression regardless of one's political beliefs?
What do you mean by zero tolerance?
That in a civilized society, it shouldn't be something that is tolerated, condoned, or allowed.
Sure.
Okay. Do you agree that stealing signed recall petitions is an attack on the political process itself?
Vague and ambiguous, you can answer.
No.
Why not?
I think that is no, I do not think it is a attack on the political process itself.
So you think it's okay to steal signed recall petitions?
That's not what I said.
You don't think it's an attack on the political process? Okay. So that's your testimony today, that you don't believe stealing signed recall petitions is an attack on the political process. That's your testimony. Okay, let's move on. Do you agree that immigrants have a fundamental right to participate in the democratic process here in San Francisco?
Yes.
Do you agree that direct democracy through recall elections is a legal and fundamental process for voters to express their political views?
I believe it is a legal process, yes.
Do you understand that the process of collecting recall signatures is protected by law?
Yes, I just said it's a legal process.
And you understand that Article 2 of the California Constitution grants the people the power to recall and remove elected officials?
Yes.
Okay. As you sit here today, do you condemn all forms of election interference?
Yes.
Objection overbroad.
Can you describe your political views?
That's a broad question. You have a specific thing you would like my view on?
Yeah, I'd like you to generally describe your political views in your own words.
Left leaning?
Okay. Do you have children?
No.
Why was a school board recall so important to you?
I believe that this campaign was racially motivated, especially the reaction against the Lowell High School lottery process that sort of spun off this whole campaign. And that's backed up by very racist rhetoric against Black and Latino children that I saw, expressing concerns about how that their presence would make that school unsafe, how that their presence would create crime and drug dealing at that school. I have a lot of Black people in my family, including 2 younger siblings, and I worry about their safety all of the time. I fear, that any day, one of their names could be the next, Breonna Taylor, Michael Brown, any of those names. So when I see rhetoric that is dehumanizing like that, that says that children, talk about children here, their presence at a school is going to make, inherently make the school unsafe and bring crime just by the nature of their race. That's incredibly upsetting and incredibly personal to me.
Thank you for that. What did a school board that was eventually recalled, what did that school board accomplish that made you feel so strongly against the recall?
As I said, I believe the initial impetus for inciting event for the recall to be a racial backlash, and many figures headed, key figures with the associated with the recall, are known racists such as Richie Greenberg, Josephine Zhao, and others, racists and bigots. So it's not very hard for me to draw a line there.
It's your testimony that Richard Greenberg is a racist and bigot?
Yes.
Do you have any support for that?
Do you want me to dig up some racist tweets from him?
No, just as you sit here off the top of your head, do you have any evidence that he's a racist or a bigot?
I mean, I've seen racist tweets from him. I could not tell you verbatim what they were off the top of my head.
Okay, fair enough. Was Richie Greenberg involved in the Board of Education recall?
Yes.
Okay, and what role did he play?
It is my recollection that there were 2 recall campaigns against the school board, and he was the head of one of them, or a leading figure, if not the head of one of them.
Okay. Might you be confusing that with the Chesa Boudin recall, or are you sure that he was involved with the Board of Education recall?
I cannot say with 100% certainty.
But the alleged racism of Richie Greenberg is one of the reasons why you felt so strongly about the school board recall. Correct?
Regardless of whether he was, regardless of whether I am conflating his official capacity with whatever recall campaign, he was certainly a vocal supporter of it.
Do you believe that the school board recall was backed by San Francisco Republicans and tech multimillionaires?
Yes.
Do you believe that what united all the groups who were in favor of the Board of Education recall was that they were school privatizers, resource hoarders, and or opponents of anti-racist initiatives?
No, I don't think that describes all supporters. But I
Okay.
do think that describes many of the main financial and organizational backers.
Did you take a position on the opening or reopening of schools during COVID? Did you have strong feelings about that?
What do you mean by take a position? Like, did I have an opinion about it?
Yeah, because my understanding is that was part of the debate regarding the school board recall, was the school board's position on reopening schools. And my question to you is, do you have any strong feelings in support of the school board's, I guess, failure to reopen schools?
Yeah, I specifically remember the mayor and I believe the city attorney at the time suing to try and reopen schools before there was a vaccine either available at all or widely available for teachers and students to take. And I think that was a wildly irresponsible thing to be advocating for.
Okay. Did you support the renaming of schools throughout the city that the Board of Education was attempting to implement?
Broadly, without speaking about the specifics of how that was implemented here in San Francisco, broadly, I think that is a something that has merit.
Okay. And what do you say to the families who had children in the school board who weren't satisfied with the school board's decision not to reopen schools?
Object to the form, argumentative, vague, and ambiguous.
Like, for example, you understand that some people that supported the recall were dissatisfied by their children not being able to go to school and the effect that had on their education. Do you have a position on when it was appropriate to reopen schools?
As I stated previously, I think that trying to reopen schools before there was any sort of vaccine against COVID-19 in place was premature and irresponsible.
How about reopening the schools after the vaccine?
Vague and ambiguous, overbroad, you can answer.
Well, let's strike that. Let me ask a better question. Isn't it true that the San Francisco School Board failed to reopen the schools even after a vaccine was available?
It is my recollection that I don't know exactly when their schools were actually reopened in San Francisco, so I can't answer that question.
Would you agree with me that the failure to reopen the schools affected individuals with children in the school district much more than it affected you who doesn't have children in the school district?
Object to the form, vague and ambiguous, argumentative.
You can answer.
I think the COVID-19 pandemic affected a lot of people adversely, and it's not for me to say, you know, that one group of people was affected more by a horrible and deadly pandemic than another group of people.
Would you agree that parents of children in the San Francisco school district had a bigger stake in the school board recall than you who has no children?
Object to the form, vague and ambiguous, overbroad, you can answer.
You know, I think that as someone who is, yeah, I have great sympathy for people with children who had to navigate the pandemic and had to try to, you know, go about their daily lives, try and do their jobs, try and do their other obligations, and also try and deal with childcare and their children's education. As I said before, the COVID-19 pandemic was an extremely difficult time, continues to be a difficult time for everybody on Earth.
Okay, I appreciate that, but that wasn't really my question. My question was, would you agree that parents of children in the school district had a larger stake in the outcome of the school board recall than individuals without children whose children are not in the San Francisco school district?
Vague and ambiguous, overbroad, argumentative. You can answer.
If we're talking about specifically the reopening of schools and the day-to-day effect that has on people's lives, then yes, obviously I don't have children, so having to navigate those difficulties is not something that I had to deal with. If we're talking about education policy, that affects all of society, that affects future generations, and just because I do not currently have children does not mean that I do not have a stake in the future of our society.
Did you feel that your opinion regarding the San Francisco school board recall was more important than my client Kit Lamb's, who does have children in the school district?
I do not think it is more important, no.
Okay. Are you familiar with Brandy Markman?
Yes.
In the months leading up to May 30, 2021, did you follow Brandy Markman's Twitter account?
I don't know.
Are you familiar with Brandy Markman's Twitter account?
I'm not sure. I'm familiar with who she is as a person. I've met her a few times, although not in many years.
Okay. Have you ever seen the spider web flyer Miss Markman created regarding the San Francisco school board recall?
I have seen it now. I do not think I was familiar with it at the time of the incident.
Was Brandy Markman a source of information for you regarding this San Francisco school board recall?
What do you mean as a source of information?
Someone you would get information from, like a mini news aggregator, someone that's like spreading political views and information.
Vague and ambiguous. You can answer if you understand.
I wouldn't describe her that way. It's possible that I got information indirectly that she was circulating, but I would not directly. As I said, this is someone I've met incidentally a few times, but have no real connection with.
What were your sources of information regarding the San Francisco school board recall?
The news, people I know personally that, I talk to about current events.
Okay. Have you ever met Allison Collins?
No.
Have you ever met Gabriela Lopez?
No.
Do you believe that recalls are a threat to democracy?
I believe that recalls are anti-democratic.
Do you know Dean Preston?
Yes.
What's your relationship with Dean Preston?
I volunteered on his campaign.
Do you guys communicate via text message?
No, I don't know him like that.
You don't have his number in your phone?
No.
When was the last time you made contact with Dean Preston?
I don't recall.
Is it after May 30, 2021?
I'm sure that I've run into him since then, yes.
Have you had any conversations with Dean Preston since May 30, 2021?
Small talk, nothing, nothing of any serious length or import.
In those conversations that you've had with Dean Preston after May 30, 2021, did the subject of the petition theft come up?
No,
Do you know Connie Chan?
I know who she is.
Have you ever worked on any of her campaigns, or
No,
have you had any conversations with Connie Chan after May 30th, 2021?
I don't believe I've had any conversations with her ever.
Okay. Do you know Brandy Markman?
Do we not already talk about this?
Yeah, but I just have some other follow-up. It won't take very long.
As I said, I've met her incidentally a few times.
Do you have Brandy Markman's telephone number?
No,
Okay. Do you know Zoe Kelman?
no,
Are you a member of any Democratic clubs in San Francisco?
no,
Have you ever been a member of any Democratic clubs in San Francisco?
I may have at one point been a member of the Richmond District Democratic Club, but I'm not 100% sure if I was ever officially a member.
Are you a member of the Democratic Socialist of America?
Yes,
You don't consider that a Democratic club?
it is not a Democratic club.
Okay,
It's not affiliated with the Democratic Party.
okay. How long have you been a member of the Democratic Socialists of America?
Around 5 years.
Have you attended Democratic Socialists of America political meetings?
Yes,
Have you attended any meetings where the San Francisco School Board recall was discussed?
no,
Did the Democratic Socialists of America take a position on the San Francisco School Board recall?
I don't think so, but not 100% sure.
Okay. Do you have any affiliation with Antifa?
I don't think that Antifa is a specific group. I think it is a political ideology, so it's not possible for me to have an affiliation with it. It's like saying, do I have am I a member of conservatism or liberalism?
Okay. Do you support Antifa generally?
I am opposed to fascism, and Antifa is just short for anti-fascism. So if you're asking me if I'm opposed to fascism, then yes.
Have you ever participated in any Antifa rallies?
Again, this is very vague definition, but not to my knowledge. Have I been participate in anything that would be considered an Antifa rally? But again, how do you define something like that?
Okay. Where were you born, Jason?
Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay. Where'd you grow up?
Mostly in New Jersey.
When did you move to San Francisco?
Early 2016.
Have you gone by any names other than Jason Kruta?
Yeah, a previous name is Jason Nixon Kruta.
And you changed your middle name?
No, it's a hyphenated last name.
Oh, okay. And did you change your last name, hyphenated last name?
Correct.
Okay. Was that for any political reason,
No.
personal reason?
Yes.
Does anyone live with you in your home?
Yes.
Who lives with you?
My wife.
Okay. I'll respect your privacy and not get into the identity of your wife and all that. I do understand and respect your concerns.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I want to state for the record, neither myself or my client want any harm or harassment to come to you. On May 30th, 2021, were you living in the Richmond?
Yes.
And were you living with your now wife at the time?
Yes.
Okay. Had you ever seen Kit Lamb before May 30th, 2021?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay. Are you aware that around the time of May 30th, 2021, the city of San Francisco was experiencing a surge in violent attacks against the Asian American community?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about May 30th, 2021, the date of the incident. What were your plans that day? I mean, like, why did you go to the farmer's market? What was your original intention in going to the farmer's market?
To get groceries.
So you didn't set out the day with a plan in your mind that you're going to go interfere with the petition collecting process for the San Francisco School Board?
That is correct.
And so I take it nobody had urged you to go do that? Like,
Correct.
you were acting on your own behalf? Is that your testimony?
Yes. No one told me, encouraged me, however you want to describe it, to do anything.
Okay. And you had a cart with you that day, correct?
Yes.
And your plans were to pick up some groceries.
Correct.
Before May 30th, had you ever seen a table on Clement Street with an individual advocating for the recall of the San Francisco School Board?
I don't recall if I had seen it in that location. I was certainly aware of the ongoing campaign and petition gathering associated with it.
Fair enough. Have you seen the video taken by Jenny Shao of Mr. Lamb's confrontation of you following you taking possession of recall petitions?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions about that. Right. Bear with me for a second. I'm attempting to share the screen here. Okay, I'm showing on the screen what I've marked as Exhibit 3. It's a photograph taken. It's a still shot taken from the video Jenny Shao made on May 30th, 2021. Is that you in the photograph, Mr. Kruta?
Yes.
Do you still wear the same red glasses?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to play the video and then I'm going to ask you a series of questions about it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Can everyone see the video that's not playing yet? It just shows
Yes, I
this
can see it.
street.
Yeah.
Thank
I
you.
can see it.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. It's a couple minutes long, and then ask you a series of questions. And for the record, I'd identify this exhibit as Exhibit 5. It's a video taken by Jenny Shao depicting events on May 30th, 2021. Can you hear the audio as well?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's a way for me to share the audio as well.
Mr. Roach, if I can interject, you go up.
Thank
to-
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go up to view options to the right of the green share screen box. And there's a little option to uncheck audio. Or maybe it's to check audio. I kind of forget. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Let me see. I don't see the view share. Oh, share sound. Let me try that.
There you go.
Is that working?
Yep.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay, thanks. All right, let's play this video and then I have a couple questions.
There's a petition. He took one of the petition. He took the petition. He took it. He took it. He took it. He took it.
Call 911. Call 911 then. Call 911. Get on the phone.
You took the petition. I saw you.
Get on the phone and call 911 now. Now.
Because it's a legal document. He's saying I'm going to sign.
Get on the phone.
I looked at it and decided I didn't want it anymore. I don't have shit. No,
Call
no, no.
911.
I saw you put the clipboard over there.
Call
There was a
911.
clipboard under the car.
Call 911.
But there is a...
Don't film me.
There's, you
Don't
put
film
the
me.
petition right there. You put the petition right there.
Fine, fine.
The clipboard.
Fine. Stop touching me.
I'm
Stop
not
touching
touching you.
Yes, you are.
I'm not touching you. You're touching me.
No.
Hang on. Can you guys give this? Yes, right there. You,
Under the
There you
car.
go. There you got it back. I'm sorry. Look, you caught me. You caught me. There it is.
you but where is the other ones? Where is the other one?
Here.
Stop! You are breaking the law.
I gave you back your
Stop!
shit.
Call 911. Call 911. Call 911.
If he leaves, is it okay? If he just
Call
leaves,
911.
hang on. If he just leaves,
No.
is it okay?
Call
Stop
911.
touching me.
Call
You cannot-
911.
You cannot detain me. Hang on.
He's not. He took my petition. He dropped it. He stole the petition.
Sir, did you give the partitions?
Yes,
did you
he's
give this
holding
all
it.
back?
He
He's
just-
holding it.
No,
Look,
he
look.
just took it
Where
from
do
his.
I don't have
Empty your
anything.
pockets. How about
Yeah.
that?
If he empties his pockets, can he leave?
Yes.
Can he leave?
Let him
He
empty
just
it.
took it from his pocket. He stole
keys,
it.
My phone,
Can he
my
leave?
wallet.
He just
I don't
took it
have
out of
anything.
him.
You have it.
This one, he took it off from his bag.
I
He took it off.
know, but
He gave it back. It's gone.
If
It's
he
done.
can leave, then
Have a good
But
day.
why did you do that?
Don't worry about it.
Why did you do that?
Have a good
Why?
day. Have a good day. Let him go.
Why?
Let him go.
Why did you do that?
if you're preventing me from leaving and going about my day, I'm going to sue you. So get the fuck out.
Why are you doing this? Why are you stealing the petition?
Let him go.
Why?
Let him go.
Why?
Stop
Stop.
touching me or
Let
I'm
him
gonna sue
go.
you for assault.
Yeah.
Why are you stealing the petition?
Let him go. Go, 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 go.
What you're doing is illegal! Illegal! I'm fighting my kid's life! I'm fighting for my kid! I'm a volunteer!
Get out of
I'm
his
fighting my kid's life! And you
Get
steal!
out of his,
Get out of
And
my
you-
way right now.
get out
You're
of his.
stealing, yo!
He gave it back. Get it out of his. Go, 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 go,
I'm
go,
trying to go. You're
I
in
know.
my way.
Go.
What is your name, sir? What is your name? Why are you doing that? Why?
Dude, go back to your
You
way.
stole the petition!
Yeah.
Yes, you did!
I would like to let him go.
Yeah, let him go.
He said that he can't go.
He gave it back. Let him go. You need to let him go.
Like, I don't know him.
Let him go.
But, dude, and I understand why you're so upset.
Let him go. Let him go. Let him go.
He stole the petition!
Let him go.
He did!
Let him go. Let him go. He gave it back. Come on. If you need it, I can provide you his profile, okay? Just go. He gave it back.
Okay. So why did you steal the petitions?
I already just described my feelings, but behind my opposition to the recall campaign, and that I did not, leave my house that day with a plan to do anything of that sort. When I saw the petition gathering and listened to some of it, it just brought a lot of those fears and negative emotions I described concerning my family up, and I acted without thinking.
Is it fair to say that you had an emotional reaction to the sight of the petition gathering, and then that led you to act out in a way that you regret now?
Correct.
So the video starts and Mr. Lamb is confronting you. Can you take us through the steps of the couple minutes before that video? Can you walk us through when you first approached the table and what happened after that?
Overbroad,
Yeah.
maybe ambiguous, calls for a narrative. You can answer.
I approached the table to sort of just look at what was going on, and I walked away from the table and had the clipboard in my hand, and as I said, I took it without even thinking or without a plan to really do anything intentionally. I sort of just walked away with it in my hand, and then I realized it was in my hand, and I was like, why did I take this? And I didn't feel like I could just simply walk back to the table and give it back, although that would have been the correct thing to do. So I just tried to get rid of it and walk away, because I felt like that was the best way to remove myself from that situation at that point. And then you can see at the beginning of the video, I got confronted for doing that.
And so there was a clipboard, and then there was also some petitions that wind up in your back pocket, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And okay, so you described how you took the clipboard and you put that under a car. How did the petitions wind up in your pocket? Was that, did you take them off the clipboard, or were those petitions on another place on the table?
Those were from the same clipboard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
At some point you signed a petition, correct? Do you
Object
recall,
vague and
do you
ambiguous.
recall signing a petition at any point?
I respectfully decline to answer this question, and I assert my right to not answer under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution and Article 1, Section 15 of the California Constitution.
You don't have an ongoing pending criminal case, do you?
No,
Your criminal case has been fully resolved through diversion, correct?
correct, although I do not know if the alleged signing of a petition was a part of that case or not.
Okay. Is this your handwriting on this? Well, let me go back. I'd like to identify for the record what's been marked as Exhibit 2. My question to Mr. Kruta is this your handwriting depicted in Exhibit 2?
As I said, I'm declining to answer any questions related to any alleged signing of the petition under my rights of the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution, United States Constitution, and Article 1, Section 15 of the California Constitution.
What does Richard Drain mean to you?
Objection vague and ambiguous, argumentative.
Does Richard Drain mean drain the rich, or what does Richard Drain mean to you?
It's
Objection
just,
vague and ambiguous, overbroad.
Go ahead.
should I still answer, given the objection?
I can't direct you not to answer.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
Okay. It's not meant at like a protest against rich people, like drain the rich.
Assumes facts, vague and ambiguous.
It's just a name.
Okay. 420, what's the significance of 420 Arguello Boulevard? Is that a marijuana reference?
Lacks foundation, overbroad, vague and ambiguous.
I couldn't say.
And you're asserting your Fifth Amendment rights in regards to whether you signed Richard Drain, Dick Drain, 420 Arguello Boulevard, SF 94118 on this petition.
That's
Correct.
correct.
Okay. All right. Isn't it true that you took possession for a time of signed recall petitions containing at least 5 signatures? And I'm going to share my screen, show it's been marked as Exhibit 5. And for the record, I'm going to attach every exhibit that I've marked and shown. So I'd like to attach exhibit what was marked as Exhibit 2 and now Exhibit 5. Let me try this screen share again. Okay. Is this the signed petition that you took possession of, Mr. Kruta?
Lacks foundation, calls for speculation. You can answer if you know.
I couldn't identify the specific petition.
Okay. Based on your recollection, petition that you did take had signatures on it, correct?
Same
Again,
objections.
again, I do not recall the appearance or contents of the specific petition that I took.
Okay. Now, in the video, you state, I looked at it, I decided I didn't want it anymore, I don't have shit. And that was not a truthful statement, was it?
No.
And you didn't want to be filmed, correct?
Yes,
Were you hoping to not be identified?
yes,
And petitions were found underneath a black car and you put them there, correct?
correct.
And it's true that you had additional petitions in your back pocket, correct?
Correct.
You left the scene of the crime without identifying yourself, correct?
Correct.
There's a man in the video who asks, if he just leaves, is it okay? Do you know that man?
I do not know who that is.
You threatened to sue Mr. Lamb for preventing you from leaving and going about your day, correct?
That is correct. I was, I knew I was being filmed and was specifically trying to assert for the record that I was not. I was afraid that there would be allegations of violence or assault. I was specifically trying to assert for the record that I was not touching anybody. And that when I was being touched to, specifically instruct whoever was touching me or my property not to do so.
Now, have you been the victim of any violence related to sort of your notoriety surrounding this event?
No physical violence.
Okay, but you said you got some death threats?
That is correct.
How were those directed at you? Was that through Twitter, or through what means were the death threats communicated to you?
Various means of electronic communication.
Would Twitter be one of them?
Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, possibly other things.
You were sort of barraged by outcry regarding this event, correct?
I would describe it as more than just outcry. It's one thing to say, what you did was wrong, you should be ashamed of yourself. It's another thing to say anti-Semitic, homophobic slurs, say that, I hope that you and your family die of cancer, directing messages at my wife and other family members that have nothing to do with this. Could go on.
Do you think you could have avoided some of that if you had identified yourself at the scene? Well, strike that. Well, no, actually, yeah. Do you think had you identified yourself that you could have avoided maybe some of the witch hunt regarding you following this event?
Also speculation, argumentative. You can answer.
It's impossible to say.
Okay. In the video, you're seen telling Mr. Lamb to get the fuck out of your way, correct?
Yes.
Did you view your theft of the petitions as a form of political protest?
As I said before, I didn't go in intentionally intending to do this at all. So it was a thing that I did without intention, without thinking. So it didn't have any sort of, there was no thinking behind it. So I couldn't have.
You describe it more of an emotional response?
That is correct. It was an emotional and impulsive response.
And you admit that you stole the petitions in the video, correct?
Yes.
Okay. In your criminal prosecution, did you ever deny stealing the petitions?
I'll object. It calls for privileged information.
Okay. In the video, Mr. Lamb is confronting you. Does he appear to you to be experiencing emotional distress as he's confronting you, asking you why you did it and what your name is?
Yes.
Calls for speculation.
Yeah, I'm just asking his layperson's take on it, but he answered it. We'll
Understood.
move on. And where did you go following the end of the video?
home.
I take it you regret your actions that day?
Yes.
Okay. Did you attend an event hosted by the Richmond Democratic Club and sponsored by former District Attorney Chesa Boudin?
Are you referring to the event that was in, I believe, 2019?
At any time.
There was a fundraiser taking place at Cassava restaurant in the outer Richmond, I believe is the one that you're referring to in 2019. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to share what's been marked as Exhibit 6 and attach it to the transcript. Can you identify the three individuals next to you in this photograph, which I understand is from the Richmond Democratic Club meeting?
The only person whose name that I know is Brandy Markman, who is the second from the right.
Okay. Do you recognize the bald individual behind Miss Markman?
The bald individual, no, I can't make out who that is.
Okay. Same red glasses?
That's correct.
All right. Have you communicated with Brandy Markman through text messages or social media in 2021?
No, I have not seen or communicated with her since 2019.
Okay. You were eventually arrested for petition theft, correct?
Yes, I turned myself in.
Okay. Gonna attach as Exhibit 8. I'm gonna show you what's been marked as Exhibit 8. And do you recognize this document?
Can you blow it
Yeah.
up a little bigger?
Yeah, we're gonna lose a
There we
little
go.
bit of quality,
That's
but
better. Much better. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know if I recognize a specific document, but I certainly understand what it is in reference to.
so eventually you were identified through social media, correct?
Yes.
And part of it, what's your understanding of how you were identified?
I believe they were the red glasses that you keep referring to.
Okay. And then at some point you turned yourself in, you became aware that there was a warrant for your arrest.
That's correct.
What were you charged with?
I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know the specific statute off the top of my head.
You can answer to the best of your understanding.
I was charged with stealing petitions, whatever statute, covers that.
Okay. And bond was provided or bond was set?
Also speculation. You can answer if you know.
I don't believe that's correct. Like I see on this document that says $10,000, but that's contrary to my recollection.
Okay. Did you spend any time in jail?
Yes.
What's your best estimate as to how much time you were actually in jail?
I mean, it's hard to tell the passage of time when you're in a, box, but like 6 hours, something like that.
Was that down at Bryant Street?
I believe so.
As part of the your plea deal, isn't it true that you entered a plea deal and the case has been dismissed?
Yes.
Okay. And isn't it true that you had to submit to 12 hours of impulse control?
Therapy? Yes.
Okay. And did you complete that?
Yes.
And what did that consist of?
Working with a therapist, talking to them about the incident and what was behind my actions and how to prevent similar things from happening if a similar situation and similar emotions arise again in the future.
Do you think that political rhetoric regarding the San Francisco School Board recall, characterizing it as racist and Republican, do you think that political rhetoric played a role in sort of the impulse you had that day?
Black's Foundation, vague and ambiguous, overbroad. You can answer if you understand the question.
It's kind of a weird question, if I'm honest. I don't know that political rhetoric had. Sorry, could you repeat the question?
Let me ask a better question. The characterization of the San Francisco School Board as somehow racist, did that play a role in the impulse you had on May 30th to interfere with the petition collection?
I would say it's not the characterization of it as racist. I saw firsthand racist comments in support, or more accurately, against the integration of Lowell High School. And again, people who are known to me to have made bigoted statements in the past were closely associated with the campaign.
Okay. At the time of May 30th, 2021, did you have any information that my client Kit Lamb was somehow a racist or doing anything to harm the cause of African Americans in San Francisco?
I mean, I did not know your client specifically or anything about him.
Okay. And help me understand how you came to the conclusion that the San Francisco School Board recall was motivated by anti-Black racism. I mean, you've mentioned Richie Greenberg, who I understand was not involved in the school board recall, but rather the recall of the former district attorney Chesa Boudin. So other than the quasi-involvement of Richie Greenberg, what information did you have about the leaders of the school board recall suggesting that they're fueled by racism?
Vague and ambiguous, compound, overbroad. You can answer if you understand.
As I said, I saw a lot of racist comments from people opposed to the integration of Lowell High School, and the recall campaign was in many ways spun out of that opposition.
Okay. And where did you see those racist comments? On Twitter or online or?
Online, I don't remember specifically, but I saw multiple comments in multiple places.
Okay. And did you write a self-reflection essay as part of your plea bargain?
Yes.
So you've had an opportunity to reflect on your conduct that day. What reflections do you have about your decision to steal the recall petitions?
I'm going to object to the extent it calls for him to testify about the content of his essay.
Okay, so you don't need to divulge to me the contents of the essay, but the reflections that you've had a chance to process after going through that exercise. What are some of the
Vague and ambiguous, overbroad? You can answer if you understand the question.
Just speaking broadly about how I view what happened. Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said before, it was something that was just an emotional and impulsive thing that I did without thinking. I don't think it was a smart thing to do. I don't think it was the correct thing to do. I regret doing it. It has brought me it has brought me a lot of pain and suffering, and even if I had gotten away with it without that happening, it was still a wrong and stupid thing to do.
Thanks for sharing that. Have you seen my client Kit Lamb writing anything racist in regards to Lowell High School?
As I said, I was not familiar with your client prior to the incident, and yeah.
Okay. Are you familiar with Allison Collins' tweet in which she refers to Asian Americans as the house N-word?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna bring that tweet up on the screen and ask you a question about it. I know I can do this. Bear with me. Okay, I am, for the record, I'm showing on the screen what's been identified as Exhibit 10. It's a series of tweets by Allison Collins from December 4th, 2016. Mr. Kruta, you're familiar with this tweet?
Yes.
You agree that this tweet caused a lot of controversy?
Yes.
And do you agree that this tweet helped fuel the recall effort against Ms. Collins?
Yeah, I believe that this tweet was used against her in the recall campaign. Yes.
Is it ever appropriate to call Asian Americans the house N-word?
I think that people who were, I shouldn't speculate. Sorry, could you repeat your question?
Is it ever appropriate to refer to Asian Americans as the house N-word?
I don't think it's appropriate for non-Black people to police how Black people use that word.
Okay.
And, no, never mind.
As you sit here today, do you condemn Ms. Collins's tweet referring to Asian Americans as the house N-word?
No.
Vague and ambiguous.
You do not condemn that tweet?
No, what this tweet is talking about is she is talking about anti-Black sentiments within the Chinese community, and is then subsequently talking about that Asian Americans should not align with, white supremacy, and that they are not going to get ahead by being the quote unquote you know, aligning with people who are against, white people who are against black people isn't going to help them because white people are still going to look down on them. That's what this tweet means.
Okay. So you think Ms. Collins's use of the term house N-word
This
you're not going to condemn that in this context?
right.
Would you condemn it in any context, Ms. Collins referring to Asian Americans as the house N-word?
Vague and ambiguous, overbroad, irrelevant, not likely to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence.
Yeah, I think that's
Argumentative.
people misunderstand what she is trying to say in this tweet.
Okay. Are you aware that Ms. Collins filed a lawsuit against a San Francisco Unified School District?
I'm aware, yes.
Seeking $87 million in damages for being voted out of the position as vice president?
Yes.
Are you critical of that lawsuit?
Overbroad, vague and ambiguous, irrelevant, and not likely to lead to the discovery of admissible evidence in this case. Where are you going with this?
What
relevance does it have in this case?
I'm here to ask the questions, Brian, but you've
Well,
stated
I'm
your
asking for an
objections.
offer of. I just want an offer of proof. We've been going down this road.
I don't need to
for a
give you
while.
an offer of proof, Brian. If you want to state a legal objection and instruct him not to answer, we can bring it up with the judge, but this has to do with a key figure in the recall. And I'm trying to figure out his position on the recall.
I don't have a specific opinion about her lawsuit. I only know enough about it to have an opinion.
Okay. Isn't it true that you maintain a Twitter handle at realperson415?
That's correct.
Do you still maintain that Twitter profile?
I don't really use it very much, but it still exists.
Okay, and I'm going to share what's been marked as Exhibit 11, which is a tweet that you made discussing Collins's tweet. Give me 1 second.
John, when you get a good breaking point, can we take a little short rest break?
Yeah, you want to do 5 minutes right now?
Yeah, I mean, if that's okay with you, then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Let's take 5 minutes.
How much longer do you have, do you think?
Not very long at all.
Okay,
Just
let's take 5
getting
minutes.
ready to wrap it up.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Okay, we are going off the video record. The time is 11:41 a.m. We are back on the video record. The time is 11:51 a.m.
Okay, I'd like to share what's been marked as Exhibit 11, which is a tweet from Mr. Kruta. Okay, Mr. Kruta, I just asked you before our break about your opinions regarding Ms. Collins's infamous tweet in which she refers to Asian Americans as the house N-word. And you explained your interpretation of that tweet. And my question to you now is, isn't it true that you, using the Twitter account at realperson415, explained your views on Ms. Collins's tweet using your Twitter account back on March 22nd, 2021?
John, can you blow that up, please?
Absolutely.
Thanks.
What is the question exactly?
The question is, that explanation you just gave me of why you wouldn't condemn Ms. Collins's use of the house N-word It's essentially the same as your tweet in March 22nd, 2021, where you write, a POC tries to make a nuanced and unpopular point. They are cynically taken out of context by right wingers trying to advance their agenda, and their supposed allies in the progressive establishment waste no time throwing them under the bus and calling for their resignation.
The question is,
Lax foundation, calls for speculation, vague and ambiguous, overbroad.
Well, I guess the question is, did you write that tweet?
yes. And,
And-
the opinion I just expressed is the same as the opinion being expressed there.
That's really all I was trying to bring out. It's not really a trick question or anything like that. Do you also believe, though, that Asian Americans could be feel disrespected by being referred to as the House N-word, regardless of the nuanced point Ms. Collins was trying to make?
Overbroad, vague and ambiguous, calls for speculation.
People can feel offended about lots of things for any number of reasons.
And watching the video that we watched today of Mr. Lamb's confrontation of you, do you agree that it was disrespectful to an Asian American immigrant to treat him the way you did?
Vague and ambiguous, argumentative, overbroad.
I think it was, I think his race and immigration status have nothing to do with it.
Okay. Watching the video, do you agree that it was disrespectful the way you treated Mr. Lamb?
I mean, as I stated before, I believe that it was wrong and a mistake for me to have stolen the petitions, and that doing so, interfered with something that Mr. Lamb had every right to be doing.
And did you intend to disrespect Asian Americans in general with your conduct?
No, absolutely not. And as I said, it had nothing to do with Mr. Lamb specifically or his race or immigration status. If it was a white person there, would not have changed my actions at all.
Now, final question. You have faced a lot of backlash online, and some of it, as you've described, is clearly over the top and offensive. Would you like to say anything to your detractors online that have attacked you?
No
Calls for
thanks.
narrative, vague and ambiguous.
Okay, and he answered saying no thanks, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, well, thank you for your time today, Mr. Kruta. I have no further questions.
Okay, does the court reporter need any spellings or anything from Mr. Kruta before we sign off?
Could you just verify, was the hyphenated name, was it Nixon, Nixon?
That's correct.
Okay,
NIXON-Kruta, KRUTA.
all right, thank you.
And counsel, do you mind stating your orders while we're on the record, please?
I do not need a video. Is that what you're asking about? A video copy?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I'm not going to order a video copy for now.
Okay, thanks. And
Counsel,
Mr.
are you
Rush,
ordering a certified transcript?
I just need an electronic transcript for now.
Yeah, me too. I just need a PDF and a copy of the video.
Mr. Rush, do you want the video synced with the transcript?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Do you need anything else, Don?
Before everyone logs off, it doesn't have to be on the record, but Mr. Kearney, I just need to verify
Okay,
your
I'll just take
contact
us off the record
information.
real fast, if you don't
Sure.
mind. Okay, thank you. We are concluding today's deposition of Jason Kruta. The time now is 11:58 a.m. We're off the record.
And Don, if you send me an email or something, I'll email you the exhibit.